Welcome to my craft area. I'm Anna Hellman and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Let's look at today's project. Something I look forward to each month is when my Stampin' Up! Team members and I gather online for a Zoom meeting and update and craft night. So usually we do a mystery stamping project and I send out the materials for what they should bring, and then either myself or one of my other team members shows what we are going to create with that project, and we all craft along together while we're meeting up online. And this past month, I did this really simple card idea that is a great way to be able to use both sides of your designer papers. If you love both sides of your designer papers and you have a hard time picking which side to use, this card design right here is perfect for that because you get to see both of them. One thing I want to mention before we get started is all of the tags I've used on these cards, with the exception of this one, I made with the mini messages bundle. And here's show you the wonder of the mini messages bundle and what you can get from it. So I was trying to make these up pretty quick. I didn't have a whole lot of time to get it done, and so I reached for my tackle box I've created with pre-made tags that I made with the mini messages bundle. So we're going to link to that if you want to check out that video, because this is an amazing set. It's one big stamp, one big die, and you end up with 19 tags when you are done. And then what I do typically is I made up several colors, I embossed some on black, put them all in that tackle box and organize them so that when I need to make cards and I don't have a lot of time to make tags, I can pull tags out of there and get my cards together in a snap. So here's what we need to make this card. You need your card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5 folded in half, a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, piece of designer paper that you like both sides of the print that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and then some kind of tag. And I used ribbon on all of mine as well, so if you want some ribbon, you'll need a little bit of that. First thing we need to do is cut our designer paper into 4 pieces. I'm going to line this up at 2 inches. We want to cut it into 2 pieces that are 2 inches wide. Then turn it lengthwise. Line it up at 2 5/8. I know when I talk about 5/8, sometimes we get a little lost. So it's the one between 2.5 and 2 3/4. And cut that. Now, I like to keep my pieces organized so that I know which ones were on the top and which ones were on the bottom. The reason is if you get your cuts off a little bit, that will help to make sure that your lengths line up, even if they got off a little bit. So I am going to attach my mat to the front of the card. A little tip, if you try this and you have any problems getting the measurements to line up, is to choose a matte color that won't show up a lot if your pieces don't line up perfectly. So for example, if you have black prints, don't choose a white matte because it's going to show up if the measurements don't line up exactly. So you could instead, you could choose a gray mat, for example, so that won't show up quite as much. So now I'm going to rearrange these and get the berries that I like. Okay, I think I am going to put my pieces on this way. So what you want to do is start to put these on, and you may want to lay them out first to see how the measurements line up. Since I've done this several times now, I've gotten fairly comfortable with it. So I just put my adhesive all across the front, as you can see, and now I am putting them on one at a time. This makes it a lot easier and a lot faster if you do it this way. So once you're comfortable with it, I really recommend doing this. So there I have all my pieces on. I have this tag ready. I do want to put some ribbon underneath, so I'll put a little bit of adhesive there. And this is one of my favorite ways to add a little something extra to my card without spending a lot of time or coming up with something more creative. So Sometimes when I put my ribbons on, I like the way they look, and sometimes I don't. So I think it needed a little bit more ribbon. Add a little bit more, see what that looks like. And I like that. So now I will cut that off. And I have added dimensionals to my tag. Remove the paper backing and we can get that added. So I think this is just a really nice card design. They're simple. You can sit down and make quite a few of these in not very much time. I think they're really pretty, and they give you a great way to use those prints of your designer papers that you have a hard time deciding which side of them to use. Thanks so much for joining in today. For more information and links to the products used today, click in the video description box down below to visit my website. Make sure you also click down below to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell to receive notifications when I share new videos. I truly appreciate you being here, as well as every like, share, and comment that I receive. I'll see you again next time when I'll be back helping you to hand make with love.